Hi everybody, my name is Barry Schwartz and today is September 20th. And this is the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable at seroundtable.com. First up, this video is sponsored by RankRanger, an all-in-one SEO platform that offers dozens of customizable tools and reports. And now that we're getting started, let me summarize first what we're going to be talking about. There was lots of fluctuations in Google this week around their algorithms, the search algorithm updates, so I'll cover that. I'll also be covering the reviews rich results changes. It's more algorithmic and it actually is making a big impact in the search results. Google launched what they're calling video key moments, which is very, very interesting. And finally, we'll also be talking about the Search Console reports that Google added this week. There's a lot of other news, so stay tuned. First up, like I discussed, Google's search ranking algorithm updates were happening all week. Actually, it started last week, and it seems like it started to slow down over the weekend, pick up again on Monday, dip down a little bit, and then like over the whole week, it was really, really many fluctuations. So I had one post, the tools were all lighting up. It actually started to die down as of yesterday, I believe, yesterday afternoon. And there were a lot of people who noticed ranking changes. The reason we have this here is because they're probably all starting around Friday the 13th. Google has not confirmed this update, so it's hard to say what's going on, but there's definitely lots of chatter about it in the SEO community. Other big news this week is that Google released an update to their algorithm that checks on your reviews, the review stars in the search results. So it checks on what's called the reviews rich results. Google is cracking down and only showing it for these supported schemas. There's a handful of schemas that it only is supported on. Anything else it will not be supported on. Plus self-serving reviews. And this is a lot of confusion around what self-serving reviews are. But basically Google summarizes as reviews that are perceived as self-serving aren't in the best interest of users. We call reviews self-serving when a review about an entity A is placed on a website of entity A, either directly in their markup or via embedded widget. So there's lots of things around this. Google had updated their post about this to explain all the different scenarios where this is not allowed. So keep that in mind. And finally, you must include a property name type. It's now a required field for the reviews rich results markup, the reviews rich snippets or reviews structured data. And when you do that, you'll be eligible. With that, we noticed that Google said this is rolling out, still rolling out. It probably has stopped rolling out by this morning, but as of yesterday, it was still rolling out according to Google. And also, we asked Google, what is this called? And people want to call it like the Starmageddon, which is kind of funny because Danny named the Google mobile friendly update Mobilegeddon. And now Danny Sullivan responds, no, it's not called Starmageddon. We're calling it internally the September 2019 Reviews Rich Results Update. Very, very snazzy, very catchy title. And that's what Google is calling it. And if you take a look at the different data tools that are tracking the review results, you'll see that there is a steep decline by 4 or 5, and sometimes 6 points in terms of the change of the number of reviews showing up in the search results. In fact, if you go to the tools now, I'm just going to pick Moz for example, and I run a live report, what you'll see if I just do the reviews, it actually significantly drops. So this is when, over here you can see it went down to 35%, but now it's down to about 33%, up from where it originally was, maybe closer to like 40%. So there was a significant, maybe 7, 6, depending on which tool you use, drop in the actual number of search results that show that review rich results, the stars in the search results. Google also seems to have shortened the average length of the title in the search results by about 5 characters, and then RankRanger tracked it. You can see there's a dip in terms of the number of characters on average. Of course, some results could have more or less in the title element in the Google snippets. Google has launched what they're calling key moments in the video search results for Google. We actually found this prior by just Google testing it out the day before. But basically what it does is if you look at a video over here, you can see in this video it segments out what each segment of the video is. So if you click on the boom arm, it will jump you to 2 minutes, 11 seconds. Editing a podcast, it will jump you to 4 minutes and X seconds. And that is done only for currently English YouTube videos that embed in the description the timestamps. And when you do that, Google will go ahead and do that. So maybe I should start embedding timestamps in this video give it a try. We'll see what happens. But they are releasing an interest beta form where if you do not use YouTube and you want to provide this data to YouTube, you can fill out that form, mark up your content in structured data, and Google should hopefully do that for you as well. Google launched a couple new reports in Google Search Console under the Enhancements tab. One is for data sets. So if you have data sets markup, Google will give you debugging information on the data sets markup. Over here, you can see a screenshot of it. And also Google launched an enhancement report for the breadcrumb markup. So if you are using breadcrumb markup in your structured data on your website, Google will give you an enhanced report that shows you that information. Again, you don't see those reports unless you have that markup on your site. This week, also, there was a little debate over syndicated partners. And what basically happened was a very well-known publisher SEO went ahead and said, why is Yahoo News ranking above the original source of the content? Well, Yahoo News is a syndicated partner of multiple news publishers. And syndicated partners, it's hard for Google to figure out who's the original thing, because literally as soon as the original content producer publishes it, usually the syndicated partner will publish it exactly the same time, maybe earlier, maybe a little bit later, but usually it's around the same time. And because it's syndicated, Google's not able to go ahead and figure out who is the original source of the content. It's not about the original reporting algorithm, because mostly original reporting is not something that would be syndicated out to other publishers. And Danny Sullivan went through why syndicated partners really should be using that canonical tag. You should require anybody who's syndicating your content to canonical back their stories to your original story. This way Google's able to figure out what is going on. Google said you should go ahead and use JavaScript redirects when you are pointing your old Ajax scheme URLs to Google. JavaScript redirects are required because Google will process those JavaScript redirects. You can't do them server-side because it's an old method, but definitely use JavaScript. Google's John Mueller has a video on that. Google's John Mueller also said that putting older content on your newer domain is fine. I haven't published that yet. I'm actually recording this earlier, but he said it's fine. You could definitely have content that has older timestamps on your website, even though if your website's newer, because sometimes sites move and you get a new domain and so forth, so that's perfectly fine. Google is showing emojis. If you do a search for, just type in what into the Google search box, it will do an autocomplete search suggestion with emojis in it. Very interesting. I guess somebody's playing around with Google. Very interesting to see that. Google's also said that Google also has, I saw somebody produce a emoji in a Google search ad in the URL. Google does not allow this, so I'm not sure how it got through, but you always see cases of things slipping through the Google Ads system that are not supposed to. Here's a screenshot of it showing you that little emoji in the URL of the display URL of the search ad. Google is testing also showing 3.5 cards, or whatever you want to call them, in the top stories carousel. So here's a screenshot. You can see it's like 1, 2, 3.5 versus the normal just 1, 2, 3 with an arrow. Kind of like it. I kind of like the 3.5 because it kind of leads people to say, hey, there's more, even though there is an arrow to show you more. Google AdSense is notifying publishers that they need to go ahead and add a ads.txt file. They're giving you warnings. You might have to fix this. It might impact your revenue, and you should go ahead and fix that. And finally, I posted the weekly vlog. This one past week was with Dr. Pete from Moz. I talked to him about algorithm updates, which we both have a passion for, Mozcast, and a bunch of history, which is very fun to talk to Pete about that as well. In any event, thanks so much for listening to the Search Buzz video recap. Sorry if I'm looking a little bit off. Major back pain this week, starting 4 days ago. Hopefully I'll get better. And thanks to Rank Ranger for sponsoring this video. Everyone, have a great weekend. And again, today is Friday, September 20th, and that's the news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable at seroundtable.com. Goodbye.